Hello friends, we are in an era when the world is divided into right and wrong, and it is not always clear who and by what criteria determines who is bad and who is good. The boundaries between these concepts are blurred, for one justice begets reciprocal justice. The world has become not only an arena of struggle, but also a place for retribution. The question arises, where will it all lead? Maybe we should pay attention to the words of philosophers who advise that the best way to defend oneself is not to be like them and to give up the desire for revenge. What do you think about this? For now, stay tuned and continue to ponder. Two powerful tornadoes have struck the state of Florida, USA. One of them started as a water tornado and came ashore near Clearwater Beach. The destructive winds ripped roofs off houses, tore down trees and snapped power lines. According to the latest data, about 14,000 people were left without electricity. It is noted that the disaster reached its peak at night, when many residents were already asleep and could not immediately realize what was happening. Several of them required psychological support, and emergency services are assisting those left homeless by transporting them to temporary shelters. There are no definite casualty or casualty figures at the moment. Forecasts from forecasters indicate that the storms will linger in the region for a few more days, so residents are asked to postpone all long-distance travel and keep an eye on messages from emergency services. At the same time, in the Tver region, in the village of Krasnoye, there was a fire, as a result of which a bathhouse complex caught fire. The fire covered an area of 1 kilometer. Especially badly burned, unfinished log cabins. The villagers woke up to the smell of burning and the sound of sirens. The special services fighting the fire were seriously challenged by strong gusts of wind and had to resort to the help of a K-32 helicopter from the Russian Ministry of Emergency Situations. Firefighters managed to completely extinguish the fire only by evening. It is reported that the rescuers managed to protect 40 buildings from the spread of fire to the neighboring village of Ryabivo. Preliminary cause of the fire could be arson, but the details and circumstances of the emergency remain to be clarified. So far, there is no information about the victims. In Argentina, forest fires are now raging, caused by an attempt to cook coffee on a fire in the shape of a 27-corner fire. These fires have forced the evacuation of about 30 locals from the surrounding forest areas, and the fire has completely engulfed the forests near the settlements. The fire approached residential structures, and Argentina's Villa Carla tourist center was also threatened. Nearly 1,000 rescuers have made efforts to slow the spread of the fire, but for the moment the fire is managing to maintain its advantage. The government has sent truckloads of drinking water, food, mattresses and blankets to the affected areas. According to local media, a suspected arsonist has been detained in the town of Villa Carla and has been charged with arson. A superfast train has derailed in eastern India. According to the latest information, at least 4 people were killed and more than 100 passengers were injured. At least 21 coaches of the express train of the Northeast, which was traveling on a route in the region and the state of Assam, derailed from the rails. Locals actively participated in the rescue operations, helping to remove people from the mangled carriages and transporting them immediately to local hospitals and clinics. They first heard the noise and ran outside, and upon seeing what happened, they immediately spread the word through social media. It is speculated that a faulty railroad track may have been a possible cause of the disaster, but the full details of the incident are yet to be revealed. In Brazil, the Tito River overflowed its banks due to heavy rains, and the water level became critically high, reaching 690 cubic meters, which is 3 times the normal volume of 200 cubic meters. Despite the alarming situation, locals are not yet planning to leave their homes. They claim that for those who live downstream of the Tito, the river is crucial to their livelihood. However, according to Brazilian media, residents are now worried because of a strange odor in the water, and there are suspicions that dangerous chemicals may have been dumped into the river. This is causing serious concerns. Rescuers are actively monitoring the water level and making efforts to prevent flooding of residential areas. Residents are asked to remain vigilant and follow information about what is happening. In Bolivia, the sacred Lake Titicaca is facing critically low water levels due to the ongoing heat wave and drought. The size of this drought is such that the lake has reached levels never before seen. At the same time, the government claims that the resources to address this problem are simply not there. Locals are feeling anxious, as a little more in the lake could disappear completely. The bottom of this high-altitude body of water has already dried up and resembles a desert. Farmers in neighboring regions are facing water shortages, which threatens livestock and agriculture. Lake Titicaca is about 3,800 meters above sea level, making it particularly vulnerable to evaporation. According to experts, the water level is currently at 30 centimeters below the historic low set in 1996. Afghanistan continues to deal with the aftermath of the earthquake in Gur. It is noted that local hospitals are overcrowded and medical personnel have to provide medical care right on the streets. According to the latest reports, the earthquake has killed about 3,000 people and the disaster has destroyed many homes and infrastructure. Many people are forced to live on the streets. The aftermath of the earthquake has only worsened the already existing humanitarian crisis in Afghanistan, especially affecting the country's health system. Afghanistan has appealed to the international community for help, noting that they will not be able to cope without external support. Dear friends, what is your opinion about what is happening in the world? In fact, the world is in a state of storms and disturbing events, and some are talking about potentially irreversible consequences. Question: do you think this is exaggeration and alarmism, or is it really worth worrying about? We must not forget those who face the consequences of natural disasters and catastrophes. Whether it is the people in the United States whose homes and cars have been destroyed by tornadoes, or the people in Argentina facing fires, or those affected by the earthquake in India, each situation is important and needs attention. On the issue of revenge, it is important to remember that instead of revenge, understanding and cooperation can solve conflicts more effectively. Let's share our opinions and ideas in the comments. May peace and goodness accompany you and your families, and don't forget to take care of yourselves and our common home, our planet, always showing humanity with a capital letter.